floor and throws it down. Floats miss. Allen, pow, on the putback. And just crushed it on a rib rattle.
Finds Max Strus. Max Strus is flame-throwing. On the run. Harden, alley-oop. Oh, showtime here in downtown Cleveland.
Hey everyone, it's John and Serena here on the road to 16, fueled by True North Convenience Stores. We're here once again inside Cleveland Clinic Courts as the Cavaliers have taken a 2-0 lead in the first round series over the Toronto Raptors. And Serena, you know, as we look back at the season, we're going to get into particulars in a moment, but boy, it's been a season of twists and turns, ups and downs, countless obstacles to climb. Boy, it feels good after those first two games.
We've mentioned it before, you know, when you go through a little bit of adversity as a team, it makes this part of the season even sweeter because we have been waiting to see what this all looks like. Look, to be honest, James Harden still has not had all that many games with the core group of players. We're seeing this unfold right now in the postseason, and we're seeing it unfold exactly probably how Kobe Altman envisioned.
Yeah, and after the game, James even said we're a little bit behind.
Yeah.
He's like, I just got here a couple of weeks ago. We're trying to
speed it
figure
up.
all this out. I also think we got, last season, we got spoiled.
What do you mean?
64 wins going into the postseason, and it just, you know, they roll over Miami, and you're thinking, yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. It just, something about these two wins feel really good the way they protected home court.
I think also because they won in different ways. We mentioned after game one, they played really good basketball, but it wasn't their best basketball, and they beat the Raptors handedly. Then, you know, in game two, Toronto's going to come back with every adjustment, throw the kitchen sink at you, right? And I'm taking that from Kenny Atkinson because that's exactly what he said. And Kenny said going into game two, he goes, look, a lot of people talk about closeout games as being the hardest game, but to me, the game two win after you've won game home is really one of the hardest because you know how much the other team is going to come at you. They certainly did. So I think to watch the Cavs weather the storm of the Raptors continually to try to make an adjustment and the Cavs just figuring them out, that's why it kind of feels good, even if we know the Cavs can play even better basketball than we saw.
They dealt with every Toronto counterpunch. There will be more, of course, in
Yeah.
Game 3 when the series shifts to Canada. You mentioned that Cavaliers starting backcourt. We have the box score here, and what a performance it was for both Donovan Mitchell and James Harden. And you did touch on it. This is precisely what Kobe Altman and company envisioned when you pair James Harden with Donovan Mitchell. Somebody who can orchestrate the offense, somebody who can free up Donovan. Donovan goes for 30 points in each of the first two games. Oh, by the way, you throw in 5 steals. He unlocks the big men. I mean, Evan Mobley was brilliant. Jared Allen was a team best, plus 18 in 25 minutes. And such a huge part of that is the addition of James Harden as opponents. Now it adds such a different layer to what teams have to prepare for coming into a 7-game series.
You mentioned Donovan's, 30 points over these past two games. And I think what you should look at when you look at the box score isn't just the points, it's the percentage that Donovan's hitting at, right? It's his efficiency. He's been shooting over 50% in game 1 and game 2 at 30 points a game, right? I mean, that goes to show you the types of shots that he's getting, it being easier for him out here on the court. You know, he has talked about how it's alleviated some pressure off of him, which allows Donovan to just go out and play his game. And we also talked in game 1 how Kenny Atkinson said one of the things he loved the most was how Donovan wasn't settling for shots. Well, the reason he's not settling for shots is because he has James Harden out there alongside him.
Yeah, and you could look at the box score all you want, but boy, the eye test, you watch the game, just to watch Donovan being able to do what he's doing through the first two games. Even sometimes you just go to the corner and let James go to work.
Yeah.
I mean, when is the last time in a playoff game that Donovan Mitchell just floats to the corner and allows his teammates to go to work? So it has been something special to watch, the chemistry between those two. Defense, we talked about this after game 1, such a focal point for the Cavs coming down the stretch, an area where Kenny, wasn't necessarily comfortable with where this team was, and the Cavs come out and force 40 turnovers through the first two games, 22 last night in game 2.
Yeah, if you're the Raptors, you're not going to win the game when you give up that many turnovers. And that was something that Darko said after the game. That was
First thing he said.
That was the biggest issue. But also, again, to your point, that credits the Cavalier defense, the area that we have talked about leading up to the playoffs that they were going to have to shore up. they knew the scouting report, and there's just Kenny used this term actually, the physical resiliency that we saw on both ends.
Kenny will talk more about that physicality on the other side of the break. For now, here's our energizing moment powered by NG. We talked about James Harden's 5 steals. How about the 3 blocks setting the tone? Jared Allen, the Cavs were all over this Toronto team really from the get-go defensively, precisely what you want to see out of this team. And how about Dean Wade? You know, a rough last 6 quarters for Brandon Ingram, who was basically shut down in Game 2, shut down certainly in the second half of Game 1, and a big credit goes to Dino.
Hey, shame on us, because I don't know how many minutes we are into the show, but we should have uttered the words Dean Wade from the opening of this show, because the impact that he has had in these 2 games, talk about looking at a box score. Don't look at the points, don't look at the offense. You have to watch the game to know how valuable Dean Wade was in this defensively. And I loved that Donovan Mitchell post-game, he's up on the podium because he's the superstar and he's the guy that the media wants to talk to. He leaves his post-game press conference and he says, hey, when you guys go in the locker room, you better not only talk to Dean Wade, but you better ask everybody about Dean Wade's impact, because they're not going to be winning these games at the rate that they have been winning them without Dean Wade. Brandon Ingram was 3 of 15 in Game 2. It was all the more impressive because after Game 1, Brandon Ingram said, you don't have to worry about me offensively. I'm going to be more aggressive. I will find ways to get my own. And all of Brandon Ingram's teammates said one of the keys to Game 2 was making sure that their best player had the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
So then you tell me in Game 2, then he goes 3 of 15.
And they changed a lot of things. They're getting to the ball in different ways, and Dean Wade had an answer each and every time. And Dean, by the way, in that locker room, typical Dean, just shrugged it off, said, hey, I'm going to celebrate it for 5 minutes. Got to be ready for Game 3. That's where we're headed next. The Cavaliers and the Raptors, Game 3 in Canada, coming up in a couple of days. In our next segment, we're going to hear from Kenny Atkinson. We will hear from Donovan Mitchell as well. That's all straight ahead right here on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network. The road to 16 is fueled by True North Convenience Stores. True North Convenience Stores and new Phoenix Energy are the perfect matchup. Right now, grab 2 Phoenix Energy drinks for just $5. True North Stores and True Rewards. Fast, friendly, clean. By Sarah Auto Park, your buzzer beater for greater selection, Sarah Auto Park. Make your shot with 5 great brands and dozens of pre-owned vehicles. Visit SarahAutoPark.com. By NG, which is helping businesses accelerate their transition to a cleaner energy future with renewables, sustainable solutions, and the dependability they need. Let's act together. And by Toyota, your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Only at True North Convenience Stores. New Shell Fuel and True Rewards app members get to combine and stack their savings at the pump on 3 different visits. First fill-up, stack the savings for 10 cents off per gallon. Second fill-up, stack the savings for 20 cents off per gallon. Third fill-up, stack the savings even higher and earn a massive 30 cents per gallon. Hurry, this offer won't last. Join now. Limit 20 gallons per fill. Must be a net new member to both True Rewards and Fuel Rewards. Terms apply. True North Convenience Stores and new Phoenix Energy are the ultimate matchup. Right now, get 2 Phoenix Energy drinks for $5. Phoenix Energy fuels you on and off the court. Packed with natural caffeine, 0 sugar, and hydration that keeps you in the game. Swing by any True North and pay only $5 for 2 Phoenix Energy drinks. Save more and get member-only deals with the True Rewards mobile app. Download from your favorite app store. True North Convenience Stores. Fast, friendly, clean.
Sheely's largest event of the year is happening now through April 25th. Take 10% off brands like Frigidaire, FlexSteel, Ashley, Deckrest, England, and more. Or get 24-month special financing. Find everything you need to style the rooms you love with these special purchase dining, living, bedroom, and outdoor items. Don't wait, these offers won't last. 10% off participating vendors or 24-month special financing. Plus, enjoy free local delivery. Sheely's, the best things in life happen at home.
Only at True North convenience stores. New Shell Fuel and True Rewards app members get to combine and stack their savings at the pump on 3 different visits. First fill-up, stack the savings for 10 cents off per gallon. Second fill-up, stack the savings for 20 cents off per gallon. Third fill-up, stack the savings even higher and earn a massive 30 cents per gallon. Hurry, this offer won't last. Join now. Limit 20 gallons per fill. Must be a net new member to both True Rewards and Fuel Rewards. Terms apply.
The road to 16 is fueled by True North convenience stores. New Phoenix energy drinks. Natural caffeine, 0 sugar, plus hydration to keep you in the game. Grab 2 Phoenix energy drinks for $5 at participating True North stores. Find a location with the True Rewards app. And Toyota, your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Back inside the Cavaliers practice facility here at Cleveland Clinic Courts, John, Michael, and Serena Winters. It's a Cavalier team that now is up 2-0 in the first round series against the Raptors. So often when you talk about NBA playoff experience, it's about individuals, how many games they've played, how many series they've been in. What gets talked about less is experience in terms of a team, of a core that gets to play together for a certain number of seasons. Last year, round 2, an area that the Cavs pointed to and said maybe we could have been better was physicality. And boy, in games 1 and 2 in this Raptors series, the Cavaliers certainly stepped up and felt a lot better about what they did in that department.
Yeah, and I think that one of the reasons a lot of times it doesn't get talked about, John, is because not a lot of teams actually commit to that. And that's such a credit to the Cavaliers organization, to Kobe Altman, to the front office, that they've made those commitments, because then you see it show up in a postseason like this. To look back on what's happened in prior series, know that they've got to be better in that area and beyond for this series. To know the defense that they played with in both games 1 and games 2, that's what translates in the playoffs. That's the first thing that James Harden talks about when he says, what's the biggest difference in this is his 17th postseason. What's the key? And it's defensive force. When you've got that guy saying that, that's what matters. NBA
history dictates that as well. We saw the Warriors go through that with their young core, the Celtics as well. They had to get knocked out a couple of times before they reached the mountaintop. That physicality was certainly something on the mind of Kenny Atkinson. Here's our At the Mic, fueled by True North convenience stores.
I just said that to the coaches. I said, I'm not sure. Last year we had the physical kind of resilience. Like I feel like we're physically kind of more capable this year. We didn't get worn down tonight. They tried to wear us down, and we didn't. And Sam's a part of that, right? It's hard to bully him and push him around. And listen, he's an way underrated defender in this league. We trust him. We'll put him on Ingram. We'll put him on Shed. He can guard multiple guys. So, he's not backing down and physically stronger than you think.
Well, Serena, you don't force 40 turnovers in a pair of games without being physical.
9 turnovers between Brandon Ingram and Scotty Barnes. Yeah. That'll tell it to you. And we mentioned Dean Wade's defense on Ingram. That's a huge piece of that. Obviously, he's played the most matchup minutes against him. But I would also urge fans to look at the other footage of the Max Strus minutes, the Sam Merrill minutes, even some of James's minutes, bumping into these guys, top-blocking Brandon Ingram, as an example. Dean Wade making it so he's not even getting the ball. That's physicality. Whether or not you see that in the numbers, and you certainly do with the turnovers, that's a physicality that Kenny Atkinson is talking about that he wants to see.
Dean talked about that in the locker room as well. It does go right down the line for this Cavalier team. Good things to see. Again, good signs as this series starts to unfold. Another good sign is seeing the Cavaliers starting backcourt. Donovan Mitchell now alongside James Harden. The numbers speak for themselves through the first 2 games. Let's hear Kenny speak about it as well, and Donovan will weigh in too.
In constant conversations about what's going on out there, and in the huddle, there are, de facto leaders, right? They're vocal, and they see what's going on both sides of Court, and tonight was one of these games where you had to be really sharp in terms of, because they were changing lineups, they were changing coverages, they went small, and they go back big for a few minutes to small, so things were moving at us fast. That's why it helps to have two smart guys like that.
He's obviously an all-world offensive talent, but the one thing that jumps out to you as soon as he gets here is the communication about defense. I'm over here in huddles talking about, hey, we could do this offensively. He's like, man, we just need 3 stops in a row. Like, he's the vocal one on that. And when you have a guy that comes here, and we already have, a pretty solid defense. We obviously have Defensive Player of the Year. We have J.A., Dean, Max, Sam, like Dennis. Like, when you have a guy like him coming in and making defense the priority, right? And that goes a long way for the group.
It's really interesting. One of James' first games with the Cavs was in Denver, and our broadcast location was right down there next to the bench. And just hearing James in one of his first games in Wine and Gold, the way he communicated, he was doing basically 90% of the talking to this club, and Donovan was standing back, smiling with his arms crossed, enjoying what James had to share, almost as if, hey, I don't have to do this as much anymore. You're down there every game, Serena. You've been down there in games 1 and 2. You've seen not only the communication between Harden and his teammates, but between Harden and Mitchell. What has that been like?
I mean, if you thought it was great against Denver early on, you should have seen him last night in game 2. And it wasn't just his teammates. I can tell you there was one of the huddles where, before Kenny comes over to talk to his teammates, does a little coach's huddle, right? They huddle up before he comes over. He calls James over. Brings James over into the coach's huddle before he goes to sit down and talk to the team. That's just one of many examples. Countless times, James, Donovan talking in these huddles. And it's not one of them telling the other one what to do per se, but it's a full-on dialogue about what they see, and then after that coming to a conclusion on what they want to do for the next play. It's really, really good communication.
So far, so good through 2 games. Coming up in our next segment, we had a chance earlier to catch up with Donovan Mitchell. You'll get a look at that next.
True North convenience stores and new Phoenix Energy are the ultimate matchup. Right now, get 2 Phoenix Energy drinks for $5. Phoenix Energy fuels you on and off the court. Packed with natural caffeine, 0 sugar, and hydration that keeps you in the game. Swing by any True North and pay only $5 for 2 Phoenix Energy drinks. Save more and get member-only deals with the True Rewards mobile app. Download from your favorite app store. True North convenience stores. Fast, friendly, clean.
Adventure waits. Are you ready? Sarah Subaru can help you get there.
Your next adventure starts in a Subaru from Sarah Subaru. With standard symmetrical all-wheel drive and advanced safety features, Subaru is built for wherever the road takes you. Right now, lease a new Crosstrek for $199 a month or a new Forester for $249 a month during the Subaru A Lot to Love event. Find yours today at Sarah Subaru in Akron. Experience the difference at Sarah Subaru. Visit us today.
Only at True North convenience stores. New Shell Fuel and True Rewards app members get to combine and stack their savings at the pump on 3 different visits. First fill-up, stack the savings for 10 cents off per gallon. Second fill-up, stack the savings for 20 cents off per gallon. Third fill-up, stack the savings even higher and earn a massive 30 cents per gallon. Hurry, this offer won't last. Join now. Limit 20 gallons per fill. Must be a net new member to both True Rewards and Fuel Rewards. Terms apply.
In a world that asks, what have you done for me lately? The world's best-selling vehicle has done it again. The 6th-generation Toyota RAV4 is all new from the ground up, and the experts like what they see. It's totally redesigned, totally hybrid, to deliver more power and better efficiency than ever before, with style, comfort, and great value. Get the all-new RAV4 with a $299 a month lease or 4.99 APR financing. Toyota, let's go places.
True North convenience stores and new Phoenix Energy are the ultimate matchup. Right now, get 2 Phoenix Energy drinks for $5. Phoenix Energy fuels you on and off the court. Packed with natural caffeine, 0 sugar, and hydration that keeps you in the game. Swing by any True North and pay only $5 for 2 Phoenix Energy drinks. Save more and get member-only deals with the True Rewards mobile app. Download from your favorite app store. True North convenience stores. Fast, friendly, clean.
The road to 16 is fueled by True North convenience stores, new Phoenix energy drinks, natural caffeine, zero sugar, plus hydration to keep you in the game. Grab 2 Phoenix energy drinks for $5 at participating True North stores. Find a location with the True Rewards app. And Toyota, your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
You have saved some of your best basketball for when the lights are the brightest in the postseason. What is it about Donovan Mitchell that makes him so ready for those moments?
I mean, they're the moments you dream about, right? Like, it's one of those things that, you know, when you think of the NBA, you think of, you know, trying to win a championship, you know, trying to do whatever it takes. For me, that's typically, you know, when you play your best, you prepare all season for it, all summer for it, and those 3 months, you know, are what it's all about.
Does your mentality change at all heading into the postseason?
I think it's the details, but I think you've trained yourself to build all these details, build all these habits, so when it gets to the postseason, it's not something you just kind of have to turn on. It's something that's already innately in you. But I think there's definitely an intensity that definitely rises for sure.
To what extent does it mean to you that you've never missed the postseason in your entire career?
To me, it's the bare minimum now. No matter what happens, like that's a given. You know what I mean? And it's not easy, but it's also like that's something that to me is like, if at all else fails, I do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? But now the goal is to reach the finals and win a championship, and you know we're in a great position to do so.
What do you and this team need to do to take those next steps?
We gotta be resilient. We got the talent. We're capable. Now, at the end of the day, there's gonna be something in our way, you know what I mean, whether it's, you know, a certain few possessions in a game, you know, down in a series, having to win on the road, you know what I mean, different things, different moments, and we have to be resilient and collective together and go out there and do what we got to do.
What makes this team perhaps more ready than teams here in Cleveland in previous seasons?
Well, I mean, you look at, you know, obviously with the additions we've made, you know, you got a guy who's been in the league for 17 years and James Harden, seen it all. Former MVP, Dennis Schroeder, been on a lot of different playoff teams. Keon Ellis, he's been phenomenal for us all year. Evan Mobley's grown. J.A.'s grown. I've grown. Jalen Tyson has been great. Max is back. You know, Sam's been phenomenal. You can go down the list to Dean, to Naquan, right? So we got a lot of depth, a lot of talent, but ultimately, just because we have that doesn't mean we automatically get there, right? It's about the mentality. But when you have, you know, the leadership that we have, the veteran leadership, it definitely will help take us to where we want to go.
You mentioned James Harden. I've seen that the chemistry between you and James was virtually instant in that backcourt. What has it been like for you to share that backcourt? And maybe what have you learned about James that you didn't know previously?
You realize his will and desire to win. You know, for a guy like him, he's done everything on his resume but get a championship. And you can see that and you feel that hunger. And I think that ultimately, like I said, we've had a relationship since I got into the league. So I've known him my whole career. But when you get onto the floor, you know, never having played with a guy that dynamic, you know, with that gravity, being able to, you know, play, you saw it last game, like having him be double teamed and leaving me open, you know what I mean, be able to allow me to create for whatever, myself or my teammates, you know what I mean, and also being able to feed our bigs and introduce them to a different, you know, pick and roll style than just what they've seen from myself is definitely unique, and his leadership style is great. You know, he instills confidence in everybody, you know, throughout the group.
You have some younger faces in that locker room who are prepared potentially to make their first long playoff run. What is your advice to them?
Follow us. You know, I mean, they've done a good job of, you know, especially, you know, Naquan, Tyrese, Jalen, Craig. I'm missing somebody. I might be missing somebody. But like, you know, I think for me, it's just continue to do what they've been doing, right? You know, listening, asking questions, finding ways to be better. And I think that's ultimately what you want from your young guys, right? And you saw, especially when we needed them most, right? You know, those lineups where we're out there, you know, guys are down, guys are hurt. They've been phenomenal throughout the season. So continue to follow, continue to do the things that you've been doing habitually on and off the court to get your body and your mind right.
You've been able to enjoy this fan base now for a couple of seasons. What is it about Cleveland? What is it about Rocket Arena that makes it so special come playoff time?
They love you like their own. You know what I mean? I think that's something you just feel that energy. You don't want to disappoint them. I said it after last season, we let the city down, and this is our chance to make it right and go out there and do what we got to do. But Cleveland's always going to be, in my heart, just because of, the way they show their love, the way they show out. And this year's not going to be any different.
Only at True North convenience stores. New Shell Fuel and True Rewards app members get to combine and stack their savings at the pump on 3 different visits. First fill up, stack the savings for 10 cents off per gallon. Second fill up, stack the savings for 20 cents off per gallon. Third fill up, stack the savings even higher and earn a massive 30 cents per gallon. Hurry, this offer won't last. Join now. Limit 20 gallons per fill. Must be a net new member to both True Rewards and Fuel Rewards. Terms apply.
This is where it begins. Water becomes ice. Ice becomes hockey. From the Cuyahoga River to Lake Erie. From your local rink to Rocket Arena. Water shapes our land, our livelihoods, and our sport. Water gives us life. We're the Cleveland Monsters, playing for a green city on a blue lake, ready to defend Lake Erie and the resources that make Cleveland the freshwater capital of the world. Project Lake Blue connects hockey to the water that makes it possible through education, action, and stewardship. Protect where we play. Keep our lake great. Project Lake Blue.
Road to 16 is fueled by True North Convenience Stores. True North Convenience Stores and new Phoenix Energy are the perfect matchup. Right now, grab 2 Phoenix Energy drinks for just $5. True North Stores and True Rewards. Fast, friendly, clean. And by Toyota, your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. We welcome you back as we take a look at the road to the finals driven by Toyota. So last night, both the Knicks and the Nuggets had a chance to join the Cavs as teams with 2-0 series leads, and neither one did. C.J. McCollum, boy, he rallied the Hawks late as they shocked the Garden crowd to even that series at 1. Then the Timberwolves won late night in Denver. Some extracurriculars between Anthony Edwards and Nick Jokic certainly have spiced up that series as well. So the NBA playoffs are underway. Off we go. The Cavaliers up 2-0. Our next stop, fueled by True North Convenience Stores, has what in store for our Cavs?
Well, John, as you can see, today was a well-earned recovery day.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of recovery, seem to have this Phoenix
product placement.
Hydration energy drink.
Delicious.
You like what we did there?
Energizing.
You know, I loved actually in the locker room last night when James Harden was leaving. He said it. He said, yeah, recovery day tomorrow. But after that, tomorrow it is back at practice, film session, all of that right here. Then they hop on a plane to Toronto. Guess who else is going to Toronto? This crew, our lovely guys behind the scenes, Leo and Jeremy, because we're going to be bringing you this show every night, 6:30. Then, hey, it's shoot around, and it's game 3 in Toronto. And it's a tough atmosphere to play in, so it's going to be a good one. 2
days of getting you ready for game 3. We're going to hear from Raptor head coach Darko Rajakovic, who, by the way, in game 2 in the second half, he cut his rotation to only 7 players. We will hear about that and much, much more right here on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network.
True North Convenience Stores and new Phoenix Energy are the ultimate matchup. Right now, get 2 Phoenix Energy drinks for $5. Phoenix Energy fuels you on and off the court. Packed with natural caffeine, 0 sugar, and hydration that keeps you in the game. Swing by any True North and pay only $5 for 2 Phoenix Energy drinks. Save more and get member-only deals with the True Rewards mobile app. Download from your favorite app store. True North Convenience Stores. Fast, friendly, clean.
Toyota gives you more electrified hybrid choices than anyone else, including Camry, America's best-selling car, the family favorite Sienna minivan, and the bigger, more powerful Grand Highlander. Toyota's lineup also includes the all-new, all-electric BZ, which you can lease for just $309 a month, and the hybrid that started it all, the iconic Prius, which you can lease for just $289 a month. That's the power of choice. From Toyota, let's go places.